Hi, nobody. This is a different type of video that I don't know if I will make with other things or if it's just going to be for this. But I finished writing all the music and all the lyrics for my band, my black metal band specifically, Svart Vind, and yesterday I started practicing my parts. I play bass and I do some pad programming and keyboard parts, we could say, but I don't really play anything, at least for now. I just wrote it in MIDI and there we go. And well, since it's the second day that I'm doing this, well, I will every once in a while I will put the phone to record and talk about what I'm doing, or show a bit of my practicing. I will start now. I don't know whether I have my bass on me, but Svart Vind is an atmospheric / melodic black metal band, mostly melodic black metal. There's still a lot of traditional black metal influence, and there's some atmospheric stuff, there's influences from up and down the metal spectrum, mostly up and down the black metal spectrum, which is more diverse than what you'd expect, considering the culture that surrounds it. But mostly the influences range from the melodic side and atmospheric side of traditional black metal, such as Mayhem in mostly the Mysteries of Satanas, Gorgoroth, who are extremely melodic. I really love the way they play their melodies and they write their melodies. To bands like Dark Throne in the Transylvanian Hunger, Panzerfaust era, to then more, we would say, traditionally melodic or atmospheric black metal bands such as Galsweird, I don't know, Batyushka has been also a pretty big influence at some point. Windir, Ulver, all those bands, Dimmu Borgir, early Satyricon are huge influences in when I write for Svart Vind, or at least this album. But the band started in 2016 on summer, so it was in June, I think. Maybe it was in May, but then it would be spring. I think it was in June. With a friend that I used to have, who just got introduced into black metal by a common friend. He really loved metal, melodic metal, power metal, traditional metal, all those folk metals, especially. He really loved folk metal, and he also really enjoyed folk music and acoustic. He played some sort of acoustic Midwest emo influenced. He really loved Rob Scallon. He had a huge influence from him, and he hated with a passion extreme metal, and especially the vocals, harsh vocals, and that hatred was condensed especially towards death metal and similar styles. And one day, this friend of ours introduced him to black metal, and he was amazed at how, despite being so extreme, it managed to get such well done atmospheres and melodies, and how epic it could get. So he fell in love with black metal. So we went to see Dark Funeral. We went to see Dark Funeral. There he was introduced also to Chris Youn. That was the band that introduced him to death metal, to enjoying death metal. But that same year that we went to the Dark Funeral show, I think, maybe the previous year, I don't know when I went to to that show. I don't know what year it was. I have a really bad memory. But I think it was the same year. So we were talking about being in a band together, because he knew I played music and I had a bass. He had the guitars. He's a really good guitar player. He knew that I was a vocalist. I was able to growl and do the some black metal-ish high screams. I wouldn't say they were purely black metal, but they were pretty close, and I could do some really deep growls. The Artist Murder / Behemoth style growls. So we decided that we would do an extreme melodic metal band. So I started to write demos of In Flames influenced melodic death metal, early In Flames, melodic black metal, essentially folk metal without folk instruments and double bass, things like that, until we finally decided to center it all in black metal. Play melodic and atmospheric black metal, because that's what we loved. I was just starting to get extremely obsessed with black metal after a really long while of being of having death metal and death grind as my favorite styles of music in general. I was starting to listen to more and more black metal. Black metal was the first extreme metal genre that I really got into, but I mostly listened to death metal. So I started to listen to black metal, and I got also really obsessed with it, and I listened to as much variety I could inside that. So I was also a huge fan of depressive black metal. I really enjoyed black and death metal and all those kinds of things. In fact, my favorite death metal band still, I don't know if it still is, but it used to be Deicide, especially on In the Minds of Evil and a few of the previous albums, because In the Minds of Evil, specifically the title song, had these close to black metal atmospheric parts that kind of solidified it to me. So I started to get really obsessed with black metal, so we played black metal. That was 2016. 2017 I moved, but we still kept writing music. We were still talking, and he would come sometimes. He would come over to my house, and we would show each other the things that we had written. I started to write lyrics around then. I almost wrote a whole song, a whole 7 minutes, 6-minute song worth of lyrics. But I was mostly writing music. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing since 2013. I've been writing music and only music and nothing else, and that's been my life. I've mostly written instrumentals throughout my existence and very, very few lyrics. Songs with lyrics. I really don't write lyrics. Usually it's in bands where someone else writes the lyrics, or I make a really short and brief intervention with my vocals. Generally the worst part. And yeah, I had a whole album worth, a whole album's worth of instrumentals with some lyrics on the way, and a couple, one or two titles, I'm not sure. And from 2016 till early 2018, I finished that. I finished 6. I'm going to search that because I'm not sure. 6 or 7. I'm not going to listen to that. 7 songs at least. All of them over 4 minutes. Yep. I wrote 8 songs. 8 songs, all of them over 4 minutes, except one that was almost 4 minutes. Probably after being played with real instruments. Due to the fact that when you write it in tabs, the tail doesn't extend as much. But probably it would go a little over 4 minutes. I had couple of songs at almost 7 minutes. One over 7 minutes, and yeah, mostly around 5. All of my songs were between 4 and 7 minutes basically, and it was a massive amount of riffs and content and melodies. I'm not a really melodic writer, but I enjoy melodies, so I did that. So yeah, I had a whole album's worth of music, but we were doing a sort of dark zone thing where it would be half and half, written by one the other. And in the time that I had written 7 songs and I was finishing the 8th one, he had only written and programmed an intro and barely finished a song that was around 4 minutes. That's one of the reasons why I fired him. He was extremely talented as a guitar player. He was able to write really good music, but he doesn't, or at least didn't have the capabilities to go there and write music for a period of time, or look at it every single day and maybe get something, maybe not. But in 2 whole years almost whole years, more than 2.5, because I fired him in spring of 2018, so almost 2 years. He had that, and he wanted to continue with his acoustic project, and he was trying to make an atmospheric, depressive black metal project. He was in a folk project with my fiancée, and he barely wrote anything, barely, for any of it. He was incapable of writing music, apparently. He would do this every once in a while, look at it someday, write a half of a song, never look at it again, come back to it months later, finish it, it's a really good song, but he really didn't put much effort into songwriting. That's one of the reasons I kicked him out. The rest are personal, completely non-professional, so I don't think it's important to share it. I don't think it is. I wasn't the only person involved, and I'm not going to ask permission to share anything from his life. I simply don't wish to talk to him, and I don't really enjoy talking about him. So I fired him. And also kicked him out of my house. And asked him to remove everything that I had recorded in his computer and all of the songs that I had given to him, because it was the 8 songs. The 8 songs. The song that he had done, he had at the time that I hit him out, he had one finished song, an intro, and I think an almost finished song. So he had my 8, 2 of his, one of them with my bass playing, my bass parts that I wrote, including a bass solo for some reason. He thought that I was good enough, which is funny to me. And an almost finished song of his, but it was 8 songs and a bass part completely mine, and also a cover that I had done completely. We decided to choose 2 songs to add as bonus tracks for the album that we were making. I took one, made a whole arrangement, and recorded the bass parts and programmed the drums, because he was doing something else, and he told me, look, I'm not a programmer, so I don't think I will be able to do it. So I said, okay, give it to me, I will program the drums, no problem. I did it, and I didn't have any problem doing that. It was fine. So he had quite a few things. At the time of kicking him out, I had recorded 3 bass parts, essentially. I was trying to record more, but he had the recording equipment, it was his, so I couldn't use it, because if someone is not going to work for a band, then obviously they are not going to give you their recording equipment just like that. He did that once, and it was for another project that I had to do on my own. So, yeah, I told him to delete all the demos that I had sent him and all the things that I had written, and to delete the bass parts in his songs, because I don't want to associate myself with him. I don't want to collaborate with him, and if he's out of the band, then I would be collaborating with him, and I don't want that. I don't want to work with him, and I don't want people to think that I still want to. I really don't. I have nothing of his right now on me, I think. Maybe I have something that I don't know where it is. But as far as I'm aware, I don't have anything that he has written. I have never bought his music also, so I don't care. I haven't wasted any money on him. Any more money. Not gonna get off topic. So yeah, I was all alone in Svart Vind. So I decided to go around and ask people for help, and people I knew, if they were able to either work with me or find someone who would work with me. At that time, I'm going to lower myself. That's a little bit better. At that time, I had lost my voice due to some problems with allergies, and I wasn't able to sing for a few months. So I kind of lost my capability to growl, and especially do the high screams. I can still growl a little, and that's kind of it. So I decided to step out the way as a vocalist and look for someone who actually knows what they are doing, please. And also I knew that I wasn't able to be the guitar player. Guitar is not my main instrument. I play guitar, I'm able to do it. I have done some fairly technical things, not extremely technical. I'm not a really good player in any instrument, especially guitar. But yeah, I was looking for a drummer, a singer, and a guitar player. Whatever would come after that, I was happy with. So if I ended up having 2 guitar players, or having a keyboard player, something like that, I would be okay with that. More vocalists. In the end, I managed to get a drummer, Gar Azazel. He is a drummer that responded to one of the messages sent by people I know around on their social media. He said that he was interested in Svart Vind, so he offered himself. We started talking, and we clicked a little. So he's playing drums for me now in Svart Vind. He asked me to not write much because he's already writing for other projects, so I agreed. I don't have any problem with that. And then I found Likaon, who is our vocalist, who's really talented. He's quite a bit younger than me, not too much, but he's younger than me. But he's really good at what he does, and I found him on the internet looking for people who were offering themselves as vocalists, and there we go. I called him and we added him to the group, and he's there, and he did an audition that's actually available on Instagram, on Svart Vind's Instagram, which I manage. And finally, we have Roger, who was one of the first people I went to when I fired the guitar player, and asked him if he would play guitar in Svart Vind. I know that he plays, or had played at least, extreme metal of various types, and that he played guitar. So I asked him if he was willing to play with me. So he originally said no, that he wouldn't, he wasn't able to commit to a band. And when I already had the other two members, he said that he would act as a session musician, so he would play in the studio, and if he could, he would play live. So yeah, we became a four-piece in theory, and there we are. I decided to start over. I took one of the songs that I had written, which was older than Svart Vind as a band. It was from back when I started to write black metal, which is quite a while ago, probably 2015, that song, I don't know. Yeah, I kept that one because it's older than Svart Vind, so it has nothing to do with the other one. But I decided to not use anything else, any of the songs. I actually posted them, I uploaded them. That's what I was looking at when I was talking about song lengths. I uploaded all of them, all of the demos I had done, whether they are finished or not, I don't care. My issue was the possibility of the old guitar player using something mine, essentially. I don't want that. So I published an album full of demos made in some horrible sounding MIDI, but the songs are there. And nobody can question that, because I also made a post on Instagram, on my personal Instagram, saying that I don't care if people listen to that. I don't care if people buy it or download it. It's for free, you know. I'm not going to make people pay for that. It's horrible. It sounds really bad. But I need it to be there, just in case. And so here I am. I just finished writing 5 other songs, including the lyrics, which, as I said, I'm not a lyricist. I don't write lyrics. I'm quite self-critical and I'm not really good at it, so I have a hard time doing it. It's the same with drawing. I don't really know how to draw. I've done a couple of things that are decently good, but I am too self-critical to practice because I hate everything I do. And now I will be practicing for a while at least. I will try to make it every day. Yesterday I played for a few hours, a couple of hours, with a pause in the middle to eat something. I played all of the songs at least once, and one of them a couple of times because I needed to polish a few things and choose better fingerings for certain things. MIDI isn't, tabs aren't always the best when you have to write. And then I played Chernobog, which is that really old one. I played it at least 5 or 6 times, just on loop, until I was able to play it with no actual mistakes. There were a few fingering mistakes, but no mistakes of I don't remember what goes here or I play the wrong riff. All of that without looking at the tab. So I can now play Chernobog from memory. And I will be doing the same with the rest of the songs. So I will play all of the songs in a row as a warm-up, and then I will focus on one until my hands hurt a bit too much. If you hurt yourself too much, it will become a problem. But mostly it's because my fingers will get burned. I need to get used to it again. I haven't played bass in a while. I was too focused on my studies and on writing instead of playing. And my bass broke, so I haven't played in a long while. So yesterday was the first time, in a couple of months. So I'm getting used to it again, and here we go. This will be my journey until we start recording and playing. And we are hoping to meet for the first time with some of the members. I have only met the guitar player. The rest of them I've never met them in person, which could be fun. And I think that I will try to post something on Instagram. I'm not really that kind of person. I don't take a big enjoyment out of sharing my life on Instagram, but I think that this is a pretty good historical moment for my musician life. The first full band that I've ever had finally meeting together. It's amazing. So yeah, bye.